I'm Jennifer Johnson, and I raise sheep for their wool.
Here at Whispering Pines Farm, we raise a small flock of Shetland sheep in western New York State with the goal of producing soft, crimpy wool for hand spinners. Thank you for liking this video and subscribing to our channel.
Here we are, still no lambs. I'm starting to think maybe my math is bad because they are relentlessly not having lambs. I think it's time to put them in the back of a pickup truck and drive down the bumpy road because I'm starting to get impatient. So this is Lucia. She's probably one of the first ones that are going to go, and I'm basing that on the fact that she's a first-time lammer and her bag is gigantic. Although, you know, you guys, it's been this big for quite some time. But you can see like her lady bits are pushing out. The other one is Toby. I've been watching her, and she was kind of isolating. But you can see just how nice and big her belly is. But I have to say, I've seen ewes with larger bellies than that. So let's take a look at Tobia's bag. They don't normally like you to get behind them. But yes, nicely bagged up. So she's another one. The other one I thought, oh, hello there, was Tatiana. I saw her get bred many times the first day that they were in the breeding groups. And obviously maybe she didn't take that first day. But a nice sized bag, although she's not enormous. It's possible it's because she's got a longer body. But again, first time mothers, they do tend to not show it as much. That's a sign right there. When they're itching their belly, like that with their mouth, it's an indication. That's one of the signs of labor. I'm gonna do a whole video on that here shortly, but anyways. All right, so those three are the most likely candidates. Ty, she's got a little belly, but not a big bag. A lot of them aren't gonna let me get behind them. Hi, Brunhilde. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? So she's got a nice long body too, so she's got a lot of room to hide a lamb. Are you thinking I'm got hay? I think I'm gonna feed him. And there's Paulina. She's not really showing very much of anything. Belva either. I suspect that Belva did not get bred. Let me see what you got back there. She miscarried last year. I wanted to give her another chance, and it doesn't look like there's gonna be anything there. We got Mabel. She is normally quite a lot bigger when it's time for her to have a lamb, but she's definitely pregnant. Lucia always looks big. She's not Lucia, Lucretia, sorry. And there's Ty. Okay, we just got a background look of, that is either Rosamond or Gertrude over there. And she does not look bred. What else we got? Talked about Belva already. I talked about Ty. Mabel, covered that one. We talked about everybody. Hermione is definitely bred, this gray. She's got a good sized bag. She's a little more suspicious. Won't let me back there. Now she's got a small bag. It's possible she's not bred, but I think she is. So I roo'd 2 ewes today. I had a contractor at the house today, so I didn't get any skirting done again. But you know, the contractor in the house thing, it's just, I always feel so restless. You can't really, I didn't feel comfortable going out in the barn. And so I don't know, cleaned, you know, stupid stuff that you wouldn't normally, well, I wouldn't normally do. But then after they left, then I went right out to the barn and I roo'd Belinda and Lakshmi. So actually what I'm going to do is, instead of just telling you about them, we're going to go look at those 2 fleeces. I did want to talk a little bit about the camera systems that we're using. It's called Reolink, is the camera manufacturer. They're out of China, and we've had these cameras since 2001, and I know that because I'm having problems with them. I can't get the one on my laptop. I can't get the camera system on my laptop to display the cameras. My phone and the television, we can. And that's only an issue because I want to be able to record onto my laptop because the quality is better than on my cell phone. But, so anyways, I suspect they're going to tell me I have to upgrade the cameras because they're 3 years old. If that's the case, I'm probably going to upgrade to the Google system. But we'll see. Right now they're working fine. So the cameras I've got one right up there. So those cameras are mounted. There's a circular base that you screw onto the joist, and then you just snap the camera into it. It has an electric cable, so you do have to, well, you don't have to, but they have battery versions, but you need electric in the barn. So there's my. You also need a Wi-Fi signal. And I got this one, again, 3 years ago. It's called Netgear. And I can't remember what my requirements are, why I ended up getting this one. We have a better internet service now, so this one might be overkill or whatever. But it's a Wi-Fi extender. It plugs into the outlet. The outlet has to be wired on the same breaker box or the same electric system as what your Wi-Fi is on, because the signal is transmitted through the cabling. So you got to have that, or we had to have this, in order to have the cameras. So we have a camera up here also, and that's giving us right now another angle into this room, which is nice on the TV. The problem with the TV now is that the Bluetooth mouse isn't working. So we're using a wired mouse, which is, I don't know, subpar, because we used to be able to sit in the chairs and click around and navigate. So we, like I said before, we have a camera that's kind of set up here to look at this stall. We can easily remove those the bases, and put them wherever we want, as long as there's an outlet close by. But this is really handy for when we want to be able to look at a specific situation. So I've got some footage that I'm going to show you here. Last year we had Locola and I think it was Ilara, and they were in the stall with their little lambs. I can't remember why we needed to watch them. I think it's because Ilara had milk fever and we were a little bit worried about her. So we were monitoring her. I also have a camera. It's windy out here, so it's just going to show you quick. That's an outdoor camera. So it has it's called Ingress Protection IP rating for outside. So, you know, if it rains or whatever, that camera won't get wrecked. And then it's plugged in. We ran the cable. We were able to get the cable through this window, and we plugged it in over there. So there's a camera. We've got, I don't know, I got a bunch of cameras. Bunch of cameras, and they're all connected in the living room to a receiver. So the television in the living room, we can look at all the cameras. But you can navigate through the interface through two options. There's down here on the bottom, there's a menu, and we mostly use the pan, tilt, zoom option. So these cameras can rotate 360 degrees, and you can preset the spots. So we've got all four directions of the barn: north, east, south, and west. So let's just say right now it's pointing in the west. It's set up for the west side, which is where I feed them. But if I want to look on the other side, I just click on this east preset, and the camera pivots, and then I just hit back, and there we are now looking at the east side of the barn with the camera. Then the other thing you can do, which I don't use that often, is this gets you to, you can toggle between the cameras. I just double click, and here are the cameras that we've got installed. This is another view from another camera that's in the barn, so we can, when we're down here, we can look at it from different angles.
So I have the app on my phone as well, and this is really handy. Obviously, I can take this shopping or whatever. It gives me a really good view of the barn. I can just toggle between cameras. That's the pan, tilt, zoom, so I can get the full 360 of that section of the barn where the bread ewes are. And I can see everything that's going on. It's really nice. And this is what the recorded version is from the phone. When you record from the phone, it sets you up with a file. And I can see that their water is full. I don't have to worry about that. And you can just, it's really easy to tell if somebody's in labor or if there's a lamb on the ground. All right, so why do we need the cameras? We don't need the cameras. We like to have the cameras for a couple reasons. We like to be present at the birth of the lamb because two main reasons. The first reason being that we worry that the mother's going to be in trouble and not be able to deliver the lamb and need help. And that's not often that happens. I think once a year maybe. It didn't happen last year, but we only bred 3 ewes. Oh, that hurt me. So that's the first reason. The other reason is because after the ewe lambs, especially if it's a first-time mother, there's this thing that happens where other ewes, particularly my better mothers, Ilara is notorious for this, they will steal the baby. So they will clean it and tend to it. And then once that's done, the mother won't recognize the lamb. And so she will reject it because she didn't clean it. And that's a big problem. So she rejects her lamb. That means I have to bottle feed it. I have to express the colostrum out of the mother, probably tube feed it at that point. And it's just a lot of extra work. And it's not optimal. It's always obviously best for the lamb to be with her mother. So those are the reasons why we like to watch with the camera. If we came out here, we used to do this thing when we were smaller at our other property. The barn was really small. We used to creep out at night and look in the windows every so often. And you can do that. That's perfectly legitimate. When they see that you're watching them, though, that slows down their labor. We've discovered that if we're out here when they're at the first stage of labor, it takes forever. So what we do now is once we see the ewe in labor, we wait on the we see her on TV starting to do the different symptoms, like they'll circle around up and down, they do this yawning thing, they dig, they paw the ground, all sorts of weird behaviors. But we wait until we actually see them pushing, and maybe pushing a couple times, and then we'll buzz out here, and then if we ever have lambs, I'll be able to show you what we do. So those are the cameras. I think that was everything I wanted to tell you about that. So that's cameras. Let's go look at the fleeces now. So after I roo in the afternoons, usually, I'm pretty tired. My arms are tired, my back's killing me. I need to go in and clean up and rest. So what I'll do is I just dump the fleeces here in this little lane between the handling system and the wall. So this is today's group of fleeces. And I'll explain to you how they're organized here. So we're gonna leave these ones. I still have to organize all these. There is my white comb top bag, my Morit, which I'm a little anxious about hitting the minimums with Morit this year. There's the black so far. Fawn, so that's got Duncan's big old fleece in it, and then gray. So Belinda's a spotted ewe, and I am not a big fan of spots, but I am so low on brown that I actually, and I don't normally do this, I pulled off her white wool and set it aside. That is gonna go into the fawn bag. And then her brown scrap wool, I put in a bag to go into more at home top, just, on its own. All right, here's Lakshmi's fleece. Let's get, these are Belinda scraps and bits. So this is all the stuff that came off of her neck, stuff that came off her breech and her belly. And it's all, I just pull it off in tufts. I don't really put any effort into making sure that it's, all one piece or anything like that. That's a nice piece.
but loads of VM at the tip. But it's combing, they're combing it, right? It's comb top, which means it's gonna run through the picker, made into roving, and then they're gonna comb it. So that's why it ends up being so nice and clean. All right, Belinda. So I can tell looking at here, I knew this already. She's out of Mabel and Duncan. And she was born in 2022, so she's 4 years old. And then we're gonna look over here because I'm not sure if you guys worry about micron data. So her spinning fineness is 20.8. 20.8, so that's really fine. That's really what we want. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weigh her scrap wool with the brown and the white and get that weight because I'm doing this thing, I'm calculating yield. So I wanna know how much wool is waste and how much is her premium, and look at that percentage. And that was something I used this year to decide who made the cut to go into a breeding group, which ewes were gonna go in. Because I wanna get more wool per ewe that's on the premium side, that's I can, offer as a raw fleece. So we'll get those weights. Now, Belinda's roo'd, so that means that there's 2 sections to her fleece. I'm gonna take off my coat because my coat has a little bit of dirt on it, and I really like to minimize the amount of dirt that gets on these fleeces. I'm already gonna start picking at it. All right, so Belinda's spotted. You can really see it when you look at the back of her fleece. So we'll look at the back first. I should skirt this while we're talking, but I don't feel like it. You need to be in the mood. So with the spotted fleece, I'm not a big fan, but they are a little bit kind of cool for somebody that only has, can only get one fleece, because you're getting a few different colors. You're getting 3 different colors technically. You're getting the white, and you're getting the moret, and then you're also getting a very small amount of where they twain meet, the fawn. So this is the back of a roo'd fleece. So each one of these little clumps is the tuft that I have tugged or teased off of the sheep. No second cuts, no shear markings, no pills from hitting the rise before or after, so it's pretty much perfect. The other benefit of roo'd fleece for me, the breeder, is I know exactly now truly what her staple length is, which is for me important as I'm making breeding decisions and stuff, and who's going to be sold to other farms and stuff. Okay, and then this is the top side, and all of those locks are still intact, so we can pull off locks to flick it or comb it. It's not as pretty as it is on the other side. And I'm gonna just pull one little bit out. All right, so that's a 3 by 5 inch index card. So that's probably a 3-inch staple. Perfect crimp. This is pretty much what we're breeding for here. I've got nothing to complain about as it relates to Belinda. All right, so that's that one. And I'll do this weighing stuff around too. I feel like doing it. I'm not grouchy or anything. I'm pretty tired, to be honest with you. I don't sleep well at night, so the nice thing about the cameras is I have, I can look at it on my cell phone. So when I wake up at night, I used to have to set the alarm, but now I wake up every 2 hours because I'm old. I wake up. So when I wake up, I just click the camera to see what's happening. All right, so the next one is Lashmi. Lashmi, she was born in 2018, so that makes her 6. She's gray. She was not bred. The years that she was bred, she roo'd really easily. The fiber just peeled off. It's really great. This year, I didn't breed her, and that fiber was holding on. It did not want to let go. She was getting kind of sick of me. It was coming off. It was separating, but it took, you know, a little bit of effort. All right, where are you, Lashmi? Here she is. So at 6 years old, her spinning fineness is a 22.7. And if you remember, 28 is the maximum. It's 28 microns is the diameter of the fibers that they evaluate. That's what those numbers are. They're an actual measurement of the diameter of the fiber. And a diameter of 28 microns is where we start to feel itchy. Our skin isn't able to tolerate fibers that are that big around, for lack of a better word. And I'm itching right now as I think about it. And so a 22 spinning fineness, what that tells you is that you can wear it next to your skin. You can make a really nice sweater with it and wear the sweater without anything underneath it. And I was thinking about this because we did a shepherd's panel for my guild a couple weeks ago. Me and two other shepherds. So we were talking, one of the shepherds has Cotswolds and the other one has Cornwall, and then I have the Superfine Shetland. And it was interesting to hear us talk about the applications, how we recommend people use our fiber. And I've always just said, you know, applications, I'm just gonna pull out half of this. They both look the same, it's a cat nugget. I've always said applications where you need elasticity, so, you know, hats, also anything where you're gonna wear it next to the skin. I don't recommend our fiber for socks, for example, unless you're gonna blend it with something that gives it durability, because it's not really designed for rugged wear. So shawls, scarves, cowls, you know, stuff like that. But I'm thinking now, like, why don't I just say it's, you know, you can make like t-shirts, sweaters, camisoles. You know, there's a ton of applications for next to skin where you could use this Shetland fiber. This is really pretty. So here is Lakshmi's gray cat mogget fleece. This is the outside. Her tips are really fine and well defined, and I actually think I may have spun her as a lock spun last year because I sheared her and she sheared really badly, so much of her locks were really short. But you can see, put it down for a second. Yeah, I'm gonna say just 3 inches staple length for Lakshmi. So 22.7, is that what I said? It's not as crimpy, is it, as Belinda's. I mean, there's a lot of crimp. I guess it is as crimpy. It's not as, the lock structure isn't as compact, so it's not as obvious. So that's this is a nice fleece. I'm really happy that I roo'd her this year. I was very disappointed last year with the shearing, how that went with her, because she was at that point in the rise, right? I would never ever criticize my shearer because he's really great. I mean, he shears 4 hand spinners, and it's hard for him with me because he knows I'd rather have my sheep come up looking shaggy than my fleece be cut to bits. And that's hard for him. That's not, you know, that's not their inclination, I guess. All right, so she is a great cat mugget. Cat mugget is where you've got the dark underside and it gets lighter as you go towards the backbone. So the dark fiber that you're gonna get in a cat mugget fleece that's been nicely skirted is really just these little bits around the perimeter. I tend to be less rigorous when I skirt cat mugget fleeces because I really feel like you would like to get that spectrum of color. I do. I love to make, I'm just gonna kind of scan over it. I love to make gradient yarns with my cat mugget fleeces. So dark on the bottom, light on the top. There's a gray catnugget, meaning that pattern shows up with gray, or fawn catnugget, meaning that the stuff on the bottom starts like a brown and then it gets lighter as it goes up to the back. Some of my catnuggets are very dark, so even their lighter wool is on the dark side, and some of my catnuggets are so light that you would think that their light colored wool is white. And that's a whole thing that I don't understand. There's one breeder, Garrett Ramsey. I think he gets it, and I really need to have a conversation with him because I'd like to know. I hear him talk about different types of catnugget, and it makes me think he knows. It doesn't go in there. How to characterize them. So Lakshmi. So I'm getting down to the rooing. I'm getting very close to the end. And skirting, you know, honestly, I love to skirt, so it's not like I don't want to be out here. And plus that, oh, I don't even have my door open. What the heck? It's probably not. It's probably locked. Yeah, it is locked. I have to remember to open the door for my next time I'm out here so I can see the girls. It's just, you know, time. So those are the 2 fleeces that I got done today. Pretty jazzed about that. And that's the update for today. I don't think there's anything else. Tomorrow I'll brew another couple ewes. Tomorrow's Friday. Hopefully we have lambs early in the morning or early, you know, tomorrow sometime. And if we do, I'll have an update for you on that. If not, we'll think of something else to talk about. I can't wait for my first lamb. So thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you can come back soon.